hell may be a place on Earth, but at least there are plenty of ramps and ledges to get some sick air and grindage, am I right? Ladies and gentlemen of what I can only assume is the Tony Hawk Pro Skater fan community, Helskate is out in early access, and it's time to weigh in on this new spin on the skateboarding genre. Does adding combat and roguelite elements enhance your boarding experience, or does it detract from the fun? Before I answer that question, did you know we have a Patreon? If not, why don't you skate on over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames to earn yourself some gnarly perks like early and ad-free content, an exclusive podcast, Discord access, and even free games at some tiers. Don't bail on the coolest indie gaming community this side of the internet. Now, let's kick things off on the right foot here. The good news? Helskate is a competent skating game. I've played quite a few skateboarding games in the indie space now, and this one does a fair bit to set itself apart from the pack. It's certainly not as technical as games like Skater XL or Skate City, but it's also not as goofy as Skatebird, nor is it as heavy on platforming as Ollie Ollie World. Helskate puts you in control of Anton Falcon, who just wants to skate at the beach, but he is constantly being attacked by pesky monsters in the process. Also, I'm not entirely sure there is a beach in Wertheim, which happens to be where Anton finds himself, so there's that. I'm going to be real honest with you all, there's probably more to the story, but it was told through rather awkward snippets of dialogue each time I died and ended up back in mall jail, and it wasn't all that captivating, nor did it contribute much to my overall enjoyment of the game.
Garland is definitely rearranging the Helskate because of you. Oh. This is a big deal, Falcon.
I'm with Anton, I just want to skate, man. Once you enter into gameplay is when things get interesting. Helskate quite literally throws you directly into the action, and your first task is to locate a skateboard, which serves as your weapon against the swarms of monsters that attack you. Once you successfully annihilate a wave of enemies, you are presented with a reward for your hard work, such as a tape that gives you new abilities, a sticker or apparel that enhances your skills, additional health, or currency to spend in the hub world. You also get to choose the type of reward you'll be skating for in the next round. The gameplay feels smooth, especially keeping in mind that this is in early access. Skating and navigating through Helskate's world is a breeze, and it quickly becomes intuitive to perform its various tricks to enhance your attacks. I'm pleasantly surprised just how effortless it feels adding combat to your skateboarding gameplay. Though I am not always a fan of rogue elements or run-based gameplay, it does make sense in the context of this game, and it gives you incentive to improve your skills and hone your craft to progress further into the game, rather than only having a high score to go after or letters to collect as you play through the same levels ad nauseum. This makes a good deal of sense in my mind at least. Speaking of collecting letters, when you're not slaying foes, there are optional tasks for Falcon to complete, not unlike our other avian named skateboarding friend. These side quests include collecting the word Helskate, grinding on special ledges, taking out odd bird-looking creatures, and completing skill challenges in the vaults for bonus swag. As you progress through the waves, you'll eventually be given the opportunity to compete in high-score challenge rounds against other skaters, and even take on large, intimidating bosses. The further you get, the greater the challenge, and eventually, you'll inevitably deplete your health points and succumb to the sweet release of death. In this case, that just means returning to the mall jail I referenced earlier, where you can interact with fellow skate-centric demons, purchase and upgrade new boards, and even deck yourself out with some sick tats. The different boards you purchase perform as different weapons, which gives you some decent flexibility in how you can approach a run. One board offers you better long-range attacks that do less damage, while another performs quick and painful short-range attacks. No matter what you choose, you can practice your moves in the mostly abandoned mall, and when you're ready, it's straight to the mouth of the beast to begin at the beginning once again. It's a very straightforward loop, and with only one area available now in early access, you might start to get a little bored after a while. But fear not, the developers intend to spend the next year or so listening to feedback from players like us, adding additional levels, weapons, boss fights, upgrades, and more. Ah, the beauty of early access. You get to play a role in shaping what the game ultimately becomes, and it's clear from my experience thus far that these developers really put a lot of thought and effort into making this a game that's fun and functional for all skateboarding fans. And that's what's really important. The core skateboarding meets combat mechanic is fun. Graphically, Helskate leaves a bit to be desired with a presentation that feels a bit dated. There's nothing inherently wrong with the way Helskate looks, but in the immortal words of Shania Twain, that don't impress me much. Sure, the enemy designs can be wacky and grotesque, with zit-like demons spewing attacks from the walls, and centipede-esque creatures that you can grind on to destroy, but after popping my 100th flying eyeball demon, I was relatively unfazed by their appearance, and ready to set my sights on something new and interesting. I guess you could say I barely batted an eye at them. There is also a bit of funny business going on with some of the camera angles and the awkward positions that Anton will freeze in while selecting an option from a perk menu, but nothing that can't be ironed out as Helskate progresses through early access. The Helskate soundtrack does its best Tony Hawk impression as well, and is fairly successful in capturing a similar vibe without having the same high-profile acts. Music is consistently upbeat, raucous, and a great companion for the skateboarding, even if you may have never heard of any of these songs or artists. Driving guitars, lively vocals, and a punk spirit. There is voice acting, which is a bit hit or miss, but overall, I don't have too many complaints about the sound design. It's loose and fun and fits the lighthearted vibe of the game. From one Tony Hawk Pro Skater fan to another, I do think this is an early access title worth buying into. In addition to getting to experience the core mechanics and the first world of the game, you'll get to offer feedback and even save yourself some money in the future by buying it early, which basically means this is free. I'm telling you, Ollie, right now, there's a solid foundation here with some creative ideas that will really shine with a little bit more polish and some additional content.